song for a Friday. That's Iggy Azalea. She's in town tonight, performing at the Eagles Ballroom. So an exciting show for people here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's
I like
right.
her. Do you like her?
Yeah, I like her
stuff.
There's
Kids
a little
like her.
feud going on right now with her and Snoop Dogg, though. So
Snoop,
It's true.
don't mess with the dog.
No.
All right, well, the Packers take on Carolina Sunday at Lambeau Field. They're tied right now for first in our division, so we thought we'd chat football this Friday.
that's right. So we invited Chris Jacke, a kicker who's already in the Packers Hall of Fame, and he helped the team win Super Bowl 31. Today, he's here to tell us what he's up to now and how he thinks the team is shaping up here on the yellow couch. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
This
The
is your first
very,
time
very
to the
nice,
yellow
very
couch.
nice, very nice yellow couch.
You like
yeah,
it?
Thanks for having me. I do. It's
Good. It's great to
Lots
have
of room.
you.
Thank you for
So
having
do
me.
you watch most games, home games at Lambeau Field, or?
I do not. I prefer watching them at home.
You do?
I think we were talking a little bit briefly before we came on the air. The lines to the bathroom are a lot shorter, and I can buy my beer a lot cheaper at home. So.
What's your must-have food during a game?
We try and mix it up a little bit. We make homemade nachos, homemade
Yeah.
pizza, so we try and do something special for every home game.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I like that. Do you miss playing? I mean, I bet I've heard from other players that that's probably the question they get asked the most often.
I'm going to be honest with you. I miss the paychecks. Those paychecks,
Yeah.
especially today, are just astronomical. When you're out of the league for the first 4, 5, 6 years, you really miss the camaraderie, the guys and everything. But at this point, I've moved on to another chapter of my life and doing a lot of different things. I've got 3 kids in college, so I'm still quite busy.
Yeah,
What are you doing
Yeah.
with the kids out of the house, though? What are you up to these days?
I started a website for the Packer alumni here recently called Player Alumni Resources, and it's just really a platform for guys to let the world know, hey, we're still out here and we're still alive. It's been funny going across Wisconsin, going into the Hall of Fame. I was asked to do a lot of things. They didn't even know we were still alive, so I took it upon myself and asked some of the guys if they want to get involved with it, and it's been going crazy gangbusters this year.
Yeah, you have a great website. It's playeralumniresources.com. I looked at it. You've got a lot of players signed up, and they're people who are willing to do speaking engagements. Some of them will go to schools, be part of charity events where there's maybe golfing or fishing or other experiences, which I think is great. A great way to kind of still include the people who played for the team that people so much love. I'm wondering, as you watch football these days, do you feel like there's any one position on the team that's the most underappreciated?
It's funny you asked that. I got to watch the show a couple weeks ago with
did?
Gilbert and Williams, so I got to talk to those guys just to let you know. Obviously, the kicker's the most underappreciated.
Obviously.
We're not called on too often. We get in for a couple of plays a game, 4 or 5 kicks, and we've got to bat 1,000. We can't go in and miss 2 or 3, or our jobs are on the line. So, but it was a job I thought I thrived at, and had a lot of fun. Had great guys to play with, coaching staff. Obviously went to the Super Bowl at the end of my career with the Green Bay Packers.
Was that so awesome?
That was so awesome, and I always say, New Orleans, they should have the Super Bowl there every year. If you've ever been to New Orleans, it's just a great place, and it was just a great experience for everybody.
You're not wearing the ring.
I'm not, but I'm wearing my wedding ring, so I got myself covered.
There you go.
You're wearing the more important ring.
I woke up at 5:30 this morning. I'm lucky I have clothes on. So.
I get that.
Just because you mentioned that you chatted with them, we did prep the clip in case other people did not see William and Gilbert on the show. This is what they said about the most unappreciated player on the team.
Oh, you think the kicker, Gilbert?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because he gets no respect.
Why? Because if he
Until
misses...
until he kicks the ball, he gets no respect. Because during sorry, Chris, during training camp, we over there, we sweating and we bleeding and everybody. Then you look over at the kickers, they sitting on the bags playing with a Game Boy or something.
Angry Birds.
Yeah, just playing something.
What do you guys think of Chris Jacke? We're going to have him on the show in a
Is this
couple
live?
weeks.
Y'all taping this?
We can't edit
Because
this
I can't
out.
say what I want to say.
What do you want to
we
say?
can't edit it
Go
out.
ahead.
I can't.
You can say
The
it.
bleep man ain't around.
Chris is probably the only normal kicker you're going to find in the business. I mean, he was pretty much a real
I always thought he was
normal
the
guy.
Fonz. He looked like the
looks
Fonz to me.
Why do you say
Henry
normal?
Winkler.
Like, what's not normal about other kickers?
Kickers are just like aliens. They just come from a different
They
planet.
only show up when you need them.
Like Mitch Berger.
Ding! There's the kicker. Go kick. Ding! Now disappear.
Exactly.
Thumbs up. We got to see. Do you look like the Fonz?
I do. Hey, yeah.
Do it again. Do it again.
No, once is enough. No, second time you got to pay for it. All right. So no, but they're absolutely right. We did play a lot of Game Boy. Myself and we did.
Is that true?
No way.
That is true. I will give him kudos on telling the truth with that one. We played a lot of Game Boy. We practice
on the sidelines or during practice?
Not during a game. No,
oh
not during
gosh,
a game.
I was like,
no,
oh my gosh, pay attention to the game.
No, during practice. I know there was one time Craig Hendrick, who was the punter, very good punter back in the 90s, and we were in the barn. It was the inside practice facility, and Coach Holmgren comes walking in, and sure enough, we're sitting there playing our Game Boy. He just looked at us, shook his head, and walked back out. So it was a lot of fun. We got to do something with our time, and they wouldn't let us leave to go play golf. So we brought it to the field.
So you did it.
Yeah.
So you last year is when you were inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame. What do you think of Favre and him being inducted? Do you have an opinion on that?
I think it's about time.
Yeah.
He turned around this organization. There were really 4 people that turned around the organization. It was Brett and Reggie White, and Mike Holmgren and Ron Wolf. And those other 3 gentlemen, one of them is not with us, unfortunately, anymore. But those 3 are already in the Hall of Fame, and the final one is going in. And I'm getting chills just thinking about. I think Brett deserves to be there.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
Is there any player that, as you watch football these days, that you really like to watch?
You mean besides the kicker?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. Last week against Miami, that was true vintage Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I love to watch Eddie Lacy. I think he's starting to get his mojo back from last year, and I've been happy to see the defense step up this year. They're playing well. So.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So we asked these rapid fire questions.
They're just fun.
We didn't give these to you in advance. So you ready?
We want to know off the cuff, the real Chris.
We want the real Chris. All right. So what's your favorite meal?
Favorite meal, sushi.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
Love sushi.
Do you eat eel? Everything?
All of it.
Really?
Yeah, I love all of it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Me too. Eel's really good. I don't eat salmon, but okay. What do you hate to spend money on now that those big paychecks aren't coming in?
Besides taxes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My wife and my daughter, actually my daughter's at Marquette, and she's home for the weekend for fall break, and they're going shopping today. So I hate paying those bills after the girls go shopping.
Yes.
I get that.
Yeah.
But you want them to look good, right?
Yes, I do.
What's the first thing you noticed about a woman?
About a woman? I'm a legs guy, I have to admit.
Really?
Yes.
You noticed her legs?
Is your wife tall?
She's 5'8". So is
she's
that
tall.
considered tall?
You know what?
She's got legs.
5'8", and I just took my kids to the pediatrician's office, and a woman who is 5'8" is in the 97th percentile in height.
Tall.
Wow.
So it is considered tall.
Yeah. Yeah. If you wouldn't have been a kicker in the NFL, what would you have wanted to be?
Soccer player. I grew up playing soccer in Dallas, loved it, and and it was quite by chance I became a kicker. I was in 7th grade, and they asked, can anyone raise their hand and kick a football? And I said, well, it can't be too much different from kicking a soccer ball. So I raised my hand, kicked the football, and the rest is history, I guess.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That's you mentioned growing up in Dallas.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Cowboys growing up?
Oh, no.
Oh, what team did you root for growing up?
I was actually a Pittsburgh Steelers fan growing up because they beat the Cowboys. If you remember the 70s and 80s, there was always that Terry Bradshaw versus Roger Staubach. So I was a big Steelers fan. I was never a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
Who plans more date nights between you and your wife?
I would say it's 50-50. What we consider a good date night usually is either a ghost show on TV or these home repair shows or home redo shows. We're kind of homebodies.
Very
so
domesticated.
we'll actually order sushi and go pick it up and bring it home and watch TV.
And that's
Really?
a
We're
good date
big
night?
Walking Dead fans as well. So
That's your favorite show?
That's our date night, yeah.
That's
Aw.
cute.
Yeah.
I
That
think
is
that's
cute.
really
Sometimes
cute.
cuddling up on the couch,
Absolutely.
is the best night.
And I usually fall asleep. And,
Yep.
yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, that's good.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm an early bird.
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Does that happen as you get older? Because I am a night owl through and through.
Yes, you'll get
It
I don't believe
changes.
it.
It changes, yes.
It changes.
I don't
Yeah,
believe it.
I'll tell you.
It does.
Best Halloween costume you've ever worn?
Best Halloween. Well, besides the Fonz, because I went as myself one year.
No, wait. Did you go as the Fonz one year?
No, I didn't. No. Gosh, I
You
haven't.
should go all bronze and be the Fonz. You
Yes.
should paint yourself
I should.
bronze.
Leather jacket.
Totally.
Yes. The
Yeah.
the
You
biker
should do
boots
it.
and everything.
Check out that
I mean,
picture.
Everybody would get pictures with you with the thumbs up. Isn't that
Oh,
greatest?
the
Yeah,
guy-
that would be a great
The
costume.
guys in the back are working diligently, aren't they?
Yeah.
They sure are.
I see that.
You like that?
So maybe we'll do the Fonz this year.
I think you should.
I think you should too. All right, the best advice you've ever received.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
You seem real comfortable in your own skin. I think, sometimes, people sometimes sort of have this like pretense, or they're a little nervous or whatnot, especially when you meet, athletes. I think you're the kind of guy, if somebody met, they'd be like, wow, he's more impressive than I expected.
That comes with age. When you're young and you're playing football or being a celebrity in any facet, you're really living up to other people's expectations and what they want you to be. And I did the same thing. I think it's as you get older and get away from the celebrityism, if there's a word that goes that way.
You just made it up?
Yeah, I just made it up. So yeah,
that works.
Trademark.
It's in the Urban Dictionary now.
Yeah.
You learn to, hey, who am I? Who am I? And this is the real Chris now.
If you had to pick one word to describe you, what would it be?
Easygoing. That's two.
It's hyphenated.
Well, hyphenated.
When's your
Easygoing.
birthday? I wonder what sign you are.
March 12th, a Pisces.
You're such a
Pisces.
Pisces. Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
We're
guessed
both
that.
Gilbert Brown and William Henderson Pisces
they were
too.
both Pisces
They're all
too.
about feelings.
Yeah, we're
No
feelers.
wonder
I'm a
you
feeler.
guys are friends.
I'm a feeler.
Yeah, I'm a feeler. Well, no, there's a story to
On the
that.
leg.
Really?
There's a story.
What's the
actually,
story?
My wife, she does organizational development, and she does Myers-Briggs, if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
On our second date, I had to take the MBTI test.
No way.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I'm an ENFP. If
I
that
bet
means
you're-
anything, I know, which means I'm a feeler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you, the other profession I bet it would have given you is a nurse.
I don't remember I was astonished that I had to take a test on the second date. I'm still not over
That's
that.
awesome.
I love her.
I love
that was
your
my
wife.
undergrad, organizational psychology.
Yeah,
so
that's what she does. Yep.
It was great to meet you. Thank you so much
thank
for
you.
getting early to hang out with us. You need to come back sometime.
Anytime.
We would love it. And here's the website that we mentioned too. But first, let's do our sound off because we want to know we didn't even talk about the Ebola thing. There's Tiffany with a face mask on, or otherwise known as maybe like a medical mask. But would you wear a face mask like that if you were to get on an airplane today? We want to know. So go to our Facebook page and sound off. Let us know what you think about that.
Yes or no? You'd wear one?
Getting close.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's scary. My parents still live in Dallas, so it's scary.
Yeah.
It really is.
I agree with you. Yeah.
My parents?
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Here's your website so people can learn more about PAR, too, is playeralumniresources.com. Thanks so much, Chris.
Great. Thank you for
Great
having
to have
me.
you. Come back soon.
It was a ball.
Appreciate it.
All right.